What is shaking? Is what we expected it was going to be tonight. God, I don't even know what the final was. I'm going to be honest. I kind of lost track with 2 minutes to go. I could have lost track with a lot more time to go and it wouldn't have mattered. But it was 117-93. It didn't feel like that big. It's 24 points. They blew it away. I mean, they opened it up a little bit at the end. I mean, major takeaways for me, and they're not a lot. This is what you expected Minnesota to do. Like, this is what you'd expect the Warriors to do if they were at home, lost game one, and Anthony Edwards was out. This is what you'd expect them to do. Come back, play a really good game, and start shooting the ball better. They shot the ball a lot better tonight. Where were they? 16? Yeah, 16 for 37 from three. So they're hitting their threes. Got their transition game going a little bit. Didn't turn the ball over. Warriors turned the ball over. Look, that's to be expected, though, right? You don't have your primary ball handler out there. You don't have one of your shot creators out there. It's just harder for everybody. Like, that's the thing. When you have guys like Steph, even Butler, but Steph to an extreme, everything's easier for everybody. I always tell this story because I think it's appropriate what it's like what superstars do out on the court other than do what you see in the box score. They just make everything easier for guys like me. Everything's more open. The game slows down a little bit for you. You're not pressured as much because they're not concentrating on guys like you. They're concentrating on guys like Steph and guys like Jimmy Butler and the guys I played with, Timmy and Mitch and Chris, Shaq, those type of guys. I mean, so everything's easier for you. When they're not on the court, it becomes hard because then everyone can just focus on you. They're not all that worried about help, and it becomes a lot more difficult to play basketball. Passes become more difficult, drives become more difficult, shots become more difficult. I mean, it gets rough out there. It really does. When guys are like, "Oh, I can concentrate on you now." You realize what stars go through every single day, every single game. So, this is what Minnesota was supposed to do. They were the higher seed. I mean, not by a lot, but the higher seed. Played awful offensive basketball in game one and came back and did what they were supposed to do. Did exactly what they were supposed to do. There was a little bit of sliver of hope, and it started in the second quarter where the Warriors offense started to pick up a little bit, started moving the ball a little bit, getting the ball to the hole. And Minnesota kept scoring, but the Warriors started getting into a flow offensively. And then they really kind of put a scare into them about 4 or 5 minutes into the third quarter when they cut it to 7. That's when it looked like Minnesota was starting to cheese up a little bit, starting to get a little nervous. Like, oh, no, there's a lot of time left. We can't lose to these guys, can we? And the Warriors were feeling a little bit. Defensive pressure turned up, hit a few shots, and then, boom, it was all gone. It's just hard to keep that up. It's just hard. You're asking a lot of role players. It can be done, but things have to go extremely well. And they didn't shoot the ball well either. Pods has got to get back to shooting the ball halfway decent. What did he shoot tonight on threes? Like 1 for 4 or something like that. I don't think he was great on threes. He was 1 for 4. But he wasn't bad, but a couple of them were when the game was over. So he was 4 for 9. Moody 0 for 4. Moody's just lost his groove. His shot is busted right now. I don't know what happened. The last 3 games, Moody's 0 for 14. 0 for 14. Not made a shot. 3, mid, paint, layup. Nope, and nope. So that hurts because his defense, especially his on-ball defense, has been good. But, man, you got to be able to shoot the ball a little bit. Now, he got tossed a couple grenades tonight where it's like end of shot clock, take it. Thanks. Appreciate it. Now I got to chuck up something that has about a 10% chance of going in. But he's got to get his shot back. But Jemsey's got to get his shot back a little bit. I guess the one bright spot was Kuminga played well tonight. Kuminga got the ball, was aggressive, went to the hole, had himself a nice game tonight. Does that carry over? I don't know. But it's all hands on deck right now. And if somebody's hot, you got to go with them, I think. And then you got to run them out there and see if they can do it again. Because you got to get one out of the next two. If you get two out of if you win both, then you're in a golden position. 1 out of 2, you're okay. Right? 1 out of 2, come back to Minnesota, put the pressure on them to win, win a game 5. And then even if they go up 3-2, you just hope Steph's back by then. You just hope he's back by then. But if he's not, you got to find a way. It's going to be tough. Put it this way. If they score 117, you ain't winning. The Warriors are just not equipped right now unless by some fluke everyone goes white hot from 3. They're not equipped to score that many points. I said before this game they need to keep it probably in the mid-90s, low hundreds. 110 and above, I'm not liking their chances at that point. So it's going to be tough, but you're going to have the home crowd behind you. You got what you wanted. You wanted 2-0, but you got 1. So you have home court now. And you just go home and try to find a way to grab one. Just get one. Make sure this is even going back to Minnesota. Make sure that you're going to get another home game, another crack at it at home. And between game 5 and game 6, you have 3 days off. So I think game 5 is next Wednesday, and then it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. So that gives Steph 3 more days to get healthy, and hopefully he can. Who knows? Again, hamstrings. Who the hell knows with a hamstring? You don't know. And the thing about a hamstring too is you come back, and if you come back a little too early, you tweak that thing again, and then you're done for the rest of the playoffs. And so we'll see. But again, it's just there wasn't anything out there that really surprised me. I mean, Anthony Edwards, I didn't think it was great tonight. I don't even know what he shot tonight, but he still missed some shots that he normally makes at the rim. Did he even shoot 50%? 6 for 13. And I don't know what he was in the paint, but it wasn't great. Like you expect him to finish those, and he wasn't finishing those. From 3, he was 2 for 4, so that's fine. And again, they shot well from 3. Alexander Walker, Nickeil Alexander-Walker was 4 for 6. Dante was 3 for 8. So coming off the Reed, 3 for 8. So they shot the ball well coming off the bench from distance, but it's just tough. And then you get off to the start you got off to, what was it, 13-0? I believe it was at one point, and then it's uphill. Like game like that, you got to get off to a good start. You got to make them feel it early and make them continue to feel it and feel like, oh my gosh, there's no way we can. Well, they never had that feeling. The only feeling they had a little bit like that was when they cut it to 7 at the third quarter. And that was they got a little puckeritis at that point. But after that, it was over. So, one of the next 2 games, crowd's there, you're at home, role players should play better. They should shoot better anyway. Get yourself off to a good start and make them feel it a little bit. But I still don't think this is over. Whether Steph plays or not, I still think this team's good enough defensively. Just didn't have it tonight. And again, that was my major takeaway. Minnesota did what Minnesota's supposed to do. If you're a good team, this is what you do. And so anyway, if you want to take some, we can do some comments and stuff like that. If you want to get into that and get some thoughts on game 2, look ahead to game 3. But the Celtics, down 2-0 and still favored, by the way. Celtics are still favored to win that series over the Knicks. Lost first 2 at home in eerily similar fashion. First game, they were up 75-55, yacked it away. Next game, they're up 73-53, yacked it away. Almost identical 20-point leads, and then just yacked it away. That was crazy. And then the Thunder restored order. They said, okay, that's enough of this shit. Like, they came out and they just smacked them from the get-go. And unlike Minnesota, they didn't smack them and then let up. They smacked them and kept smacking them and then smacked them some more and then smacked them a little bit more. And just for good measure, smacked them some more. at the end. Like that was a wow. That was one, not only if you're Denver, you lose that one. That one's a tough one just to brush off. You get beat like that. That comprehensively, that's rough. Let's see. Let's see. Why does Butler drive all the way where he has an easy layup? Yeah, I don't know. I wish I knew that. There were a couple of times he drove it all the way in and then kicked it out for three. I'm like, well, two's still good. You can still like twos are fine. But look, Jimmy's a way better player than I ever was, so I'm not going to question him too much. But yeah, I thought the same thing. There are some times. I think sometimes if he doesn't get a chance to feel someone's body, it's a little uncomfortable for him. But there were a couple of those tonight where he dribbled in and kicked it out for three, and I was like, well, that two was right there. All you had to do is shoot it. Post can't start. We did. 3 minutes. I don't know if the matchup just isn't good. Steve didn't like the match. I mean, I don't know if starting him or not starting him was going to make a huge bit of difference. I mean, they just got such a bad start. So I don't know. I mean, Post has been really, really good at times, but in the playoffs, not as much. And look, we still got to remember he's a rookie, right? And he only came up halfway through the season, and so no urgency in the first half. Look, just because a team's missing shots doesn't mean there's no urgency. I think a lot of fans and even players say that we didn't have urgency. It's like, well, yeah, you don't look like you have urgency when you make like one of your first 12 shots. Everything looks better when you're making shots. You look like you're trying harder. You look like you're executing better, and you may be a little bit, but it's a pretty easy fallback just to say they had no urgency. And I think more than that was Minnesota had extreme urgency. And maybe what you're saying is the Warriors didn't quite meet that force with force. And Minnesota, because Minnesota, like, I'm sure they felt like, hey, lives on the line here. It's not over if we go down 2-0, but I mean, it's getting a lot closer. We can see it from there. And we don't want to be down 2-0. So they came out, again, like they should. Absolutely. Oh, and congrats to Ogden today. The new Pope went to Villanova. Way to go, Ogden. Good job. Not only does he get championships and Brunson, and now he's got the Pope. Fantastic. So, Pope Villanova, I call him. From Chicago. I mean, I don't really keep track of all that crap, but I didn't know that was the first Pope ever from the U.S. First ever. Who knew? I did. I saw the conclave a couple of weeks ago. We're pretty good. Pretty interesting. You're like, look, I like it more now. They backstab just like everybody else does. They're duplicitous just like everybody else is. Go figure. But congratulations, Pope Villanova. Yeah, smash the like button, whatever that means. I'm guessing it means hit it a lot. What happens if Draymond gets 7 Ts? That's a 1-game suspension. Remember he had that. Was it 15 or 16? Must have been 16, right? When they lost to the Cavs. Remember he got suspended for kicking LeBron in the nuts. And LeBron stepped over and Draymond kicks him in the nuts. And that's when they were up 3-1. Then it goes 3-2. Then it goes 3-3. And we all know the rest. Kyrie Irving. LeBron's block on Iguodala, that was no good. And so I'd rather be the Dubs and the Celtics. Yeah, I mean, I got one more win. Problem is the Warriors don't have their best player. So I don't know, but I think I agree with you just because, I mean, the Celtics need to win 2. Well, I guess they don't need to technically, right? It's the first 1 to 4, not the first 1 to 3. But man, and they've been better on the road this year. In the games I've watched Celtics this year, they've been better on the road. So I don't think the Knicks are going to walk. Let's be honest here. The Knicks were down 20 in both games, all right? Give them all due respect for coming back in both those games, but you still played poorly enough to find yourself down 20 in both games. That's not a great sign. Like, it's amazing they came back from 20 in one game, let alone 2 games. I have no idea what the odds of that are. but that's not a recipe for success. Let's get down 20 and then start hooping. That's not going to get it done. So I expect the Celtics to still be really, really tough. And if they win game 3, if you're New York, you almost feel like we better win game 4. We lose game 4, we go back there 2-2. Man, that's going to be tough because that's a 3-game series. They get 2 at their house. But again, I think the Celtics have been more, at least the games I've watched, they've been more vulnerable at home this year than they have been on the road. Let's see. I heard they announced the Pope with the Bulls, Alan Parsons. I have no idea. Did they? They announced the Pope with the Bulls, Alan Parsons song? That'd be pretty sweet if they did. I doubt it. But again, I don't know much about popes, and I don't know much about the Vatican, and I don't know much about Catholicism. I got to be honest with you. I'm a little light in the. I can't even go in the pool there. Like if the knowledge pool of Catholicism, I'm like outside the pool. I'm just like sitting outside the pool. I'm not inside the pool. Even in the shallow end, I'm not there. And so, I don't know. I still don't even know how to do this thing. I'm not sure. I think it's here. Isn't it left shoulder first, then right shoulder, then here, and then, but I don't know. That's just a guess. That's all I pick up from the movies. But I mean, they could be doing it backwards when you film somebody. It looks like this. So it could be right shoulder, left shoulder. I don't know what it is. Not sure what the hell is going on there. And so you're right. 20-point leads are 10-point leads these days. The playoffs are just no lead. I mean, look at it. You had the Cavs blow a 20-point lead in that loss to the Pacers at home. Celtics blew 2 20-point leads. You had the Thunder blew a 14-point lead with like 6 to go in game 1. So leads are cheap. I don't know I don't know. I've never seen anything like it. And it's the road teams that are doing they're the ones that are coming back. They're the underdogs. If the favorites are coming back, maybe it's a little different story, but it's still pretty wild. Even if it's the favorites, that's 3 times the teams come back from 20 down to win. And then one time, the number 1 overall seed cacks up a 14-point lead with 6 minutes to go. So I don't know what's going on, but it's been wild this year. The NBA playoffs, especially this round in particular, this round is, So the Thunder are still favored over the Nuggets. They're favored by 5, I think, in game 3. I think the Celtics are favored by 5, thereabouts, in game 3. Cavaliers are favored by 2.5. Found that interesting. I could see that if Garland, Hunter, and Mobley are all healthy. Maybe. If they're not healthy, then I don't know. That seems pretty rich to me. Because, again, Pacers are a good basketball team. Even Lou's like going, what the hell's going on in these playoffs? What's going on these streets? I have no idea what's going on. So, anyway, the playoffs have been pretty fun. Now, they haven't been super aesthetically pleasing. Like, there have been some, kind of mucky games and uneven games, and the offenses haven't been really smooth at times, but they've been super competitive and pretty drama-filled at the end. Time for Kerr to shine. He comes back with his cast and wins. He cements himself as one of the greats. I don't know if this is going to cement him as one of the greats. I think. I mean, look, he's probably got a few more years coaching anyway, but I would submit that 4 titles and an Olympic gold's probably cemented him there already. I mean, let's not forget he was the head coach of a dynasty, and there's not a lot of dynasties in pro basketball. You have the Warriors of this era. You have the Spurs that went forever. You've had a couple iterations of the Lakers dynasty. You had the 80s dynasty, and then you had Phil Jackson when he was there twice. I don't know if you consider the Heat a dynasty. Maybe. I mean, it depends on your definition, right? They were really good for like 4 or 5 years, but I mean, the Warriors were good for like a decade, right? So, and then the Lakers, Celtics, obviously, that is the dynasty. That's the first dynasty, and that no one's topping that one. So when you start thinking of the coaches, right, who are they? You got Red Auerbach, you got Pop, you got Phil Jackson, you got Pat Riley, and you got Steve Kerr. And that's probably, your list of some of the greatest coaches of all time. You rank them how you want to rank them. But Auerbach, Pop, Steve, Riley, Phil Jackson. Oh, I forgot the Bulls. Wait, forget the Bulls. I was like, I know I'm forgetting somebody. There's somebody in there that was actually, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. Yeah. Oh yeah, the Bulls team. Yeah, with Michael Jordan. That was the only dynasty that like took a break in the middle. Jordan took a break. We're gonna put this dynasty on pause, and then when Jordan came back, they said, we now resume your dynasty, like they do on ESPN late at night when they're playing the game. We now move further ahead in your dynasty due to time constrictions, due to Jordan playing baseball. And then Jordan came back, and they just went to winning again. So why did the Dubs miss so many open shots in the first half? Look, it's basketball. Sometimes you make them, sometimes you miss them. There's no excuse. I mean, not an excuse. I guess maybe excuse is the right word. I'm not sure, but explanation is probably a better word. There's no explanation. Look, here's the thing, and I always try to tell my buddy this. He's like, oh, make that shot. You got to make that shot. You got to, oh, come on, make that shot. And I'm like, let's say a guy shoots 40% from three. He doesn't go 2 for 5 every game. He might go 0 for 5 one game. He might go 3 for 5 the next game. Now you're at 5 for 10, 50%, or 30%, 3 for 10. And now you go 35% the following game, then 42%. And at the end of the year, you end up at 40%. Every game's not going to be where you are percentage-wise. My point is, if you're a 40% three-point shooter, you're not going 2 for 5 or 4 for 10 every game. Didn't work that way. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more. Sometimes you're cold, sometimes you're hot. Sometimes you're not, sometimes you whatever. Pick your favorite rhyming word, if you will. So, but I don't know that there's any rhyme or reason for when you make shots. Why was JK taken out when the lead was cut down to 7? I don't know. I don't know if he was tired at that point. I'm not sure what was going on with that. I mean, I don't pay that much attention to the rotations. I mean, I probably should a little bit more, but I just assume Steve has a good reason for taking somebody out or keeping him in. I mean, there are times where I think he wishes he'd have left somebody a little bit longer or taken somebody out a little bit sooner. But that's like all of us, right? Go to Vegas at the blackjack table. You're like, oh, I should have quit an hour ago. Got to cry. I blew it. I was up $300. Now I'm only up 40. I should have quit. Oh man, if I'd have quit an hour ago, it's all about timing. And you're not sure exactly what the right timing is. And coaches in the NBA now have their substitution patterns pretty planned out before the game. So everyone's minutes are, within a minute or two, probably kind of planned out, and the rotations planned out for that game. And the things that would change that is score, possibly, or injury. And that'll change that. And then you got to reconfigure your rotations. But as far as JK, I don't know why he was taken out at that time. So you're asking how they do the rotations in these games. Are the ref rotations? I don't know how they do the rotations. You said, I don't think Scott Foster like Draymond. Hope he doesn't get a Warriors game. Look, there's a lot of refs that don't like Draymond. This is not about Scott Foster. There's a lot of officials that don't like Draymond because Draymond's always chirping at them, always in their ear. And, they're human beings. So after a while, they just get tired of it. It's like, look, I'm tired of it. But he gets a lot more rope than most. I'll tell you that. He gets a lot more rope than most. There's no doubt about that. And I think Scott Foster is a really good official. And I think people pay way too much attention to officials. I see it all the time on social media when they show the ref rotations. It's like, oh, we're going to get screwed. So-and-so's here. Oh, no. You don't think there are 29 other fan bases that are saying the same thing when they see the same exact officials? That no one's trying to screw you. No one's trying to screw the Warriors. If anything, they'd be trying to help the Warriors. The Warriors are a marquee franchise. The Warriors draw ratings, big ratings. And if the NBA wanted to fix a series, trust me, the Lakers would be playing the Warriors right now, not the Timberwolves. It'd be the Lakers. Can you imagine the ratings bonanza? LeBron and Steph on the court at the same time in the playoffs, and Luka? Forget it. That'd be a given. You ask the NBA privately, like who they would have loved to have had, that would have been it. So my thing is this: I don't think the officiating is very good in the NBA. I think it's okay, and I don't think they go into any game trying to screw any one team. They just happen to screw one team, and you know what? Just luck of the draw that night. You might get screwed. The other team might get screwed. You might both get screwed. Neither of you might get screwed. I don't know. May cancel each other out. But they don't go in there with an agenda. I'm going to take out the Warriors. I'm going to take out the Wolves. I'm going to take out the Heat. I'm going to take out the Pacers. I'm going to no. That doesn't happen. I don't even know if it happens anymore like it used to, where there used to be like refs that didn't like certain players, and they may get a bad whistle every now and again. I don't know that happens anymore. I don't think it does, but I don't think anybody goes out there trying to screw one team or another. They're just not great. They're just not great officials. But I'll take Scott Foster any day of the week. Zach Zarba is the one you want to see. Zach is the one you want to see. He, in my opinion, is the best official out there. And there's about 5 or 6 of them that aren't bad. They're pretty good. That I feel like Stevens is pretty decent. Wouldn't mind getting him out there. But there's maybe like 5, 6, maybe 8, possibly. But I think Foster is good. So, yeah, baby, I'm back for Saturday. I'll be out at Chase for Saturday's game. Back off the IR, ready to go. Feeling all right. Voice still isn't quite 100%, but it's getting there. And body's a little less sore than it was. Been trying, like almost forcing myself to sleep longer than I want to. And I don't get up early by any means. That's not like I'm getting up at 6 and forcing myself to stay in bed till 8. I usually get up around 8 and force myself to stay in bed till like 9:30, just like I'm getting as much rest as I could possibly get. So trying to get as much rest as I can. And then, the plan is back for Saturday, Monday, and then travel on Tuesday. Game Wednesday, because there will be a game 5 now. We know that. And then back Thursday. And some news for you guys out there. I think you guys will enjoy this. We have our backyard barbecue. Tolbert's backyard barbecue is going to be live next Friday in the backyard. None other than my good friend Marcus Thompson is going to stop on by next Friday. So Marcus will be with me Friday. So we'll have I asked him what he wanted, beverages. He said ginger beer. I'm going to have ginger beer too without the ginger. So we'll sit back out there and chop it up a little bit, talk some Warriors, talk some playoffs, talk some of his books, and just talk all things Marcus Thompson. So Marcus Thompson's one of my favorites, and I've been wanting to get him on, and I figured Warrior playoff run, that'd be a good time to have Marcus on. Am I going to be on after the game Saturday? Yes, I will be on after the game Saturday. And the plan is, the plan is Monday, and what would it be? Monday, Wednesday. So Monday, and then Sunday. But Monday, the plan is to do the post-game show. Still a little iffy on that. I'm going to try to figure it out. We got family coming into town, killing me right now. So I'll try to figure it out. And if my family would never watch this, but if you are, I love you guys. You're not killing me, but it's kind of messing up my schedule. So you know what I was gonna do? You know what I was trying to do? I actually have to have one of the fellas come over for this one. But I was thinking about maybe at night, like, be like, you're probably 11 o'clock at night, going out back and just taking the lights out back and doing it under the stars. Oh, post game under the stars. How great would that be? I don't know how easy it would be to set up, but I started looking around. I'm like, well, I got 2 lights, got that little box that you hook the microphones into. Got it. Camera. Got it. I get it. It can't be that hard. Here's the deal. You just got to pay attention. Where is everything plugged into? Write it down. That's there. That's there. That's there. Now I'm good with that. Like I can plug stuff back in. But if I gotta like on the computer, like rehook something back up, that's where I'm worried I could run into a little bit of a roadblock. So we'll figure it out though. And then Wednesday probably won't be a post-game show because I think we might be leaving right after the game. So I'll do a little video for you from Target Center. And then Sunday, we'll wait and see what happens Sunday. And let's try to get there first. We'll see who wins game 3. Whoever wins game 3 is the only team that can avoid a game 6, and the other team's hoping there's going to be a game 6 at some point. So anywho, so that's the plan. Basketball, Marcus Thompson, and then we'll have some other stuff as we go along. So all right, let's get to a few more. I'll stay here as long as you guys want. It's not a game that's easy to break down and easy to talk about because again, there wasn't a whole lot. There wasn't a whole lot there for me. If you guys have any thoughts, I thought this was a key moment of the game. I thought that was a key moment of the game. That's fine. I'll address it. But I just like Minnesota did what Minnesota's supposed to do. They went out, got a big lead early, held on. Got a little nervy in the third quarter and then reestablished themselves and then cruised to victory. And then the Warriors battled. They just weren't good enough. And so where's Camila? Now, Camila's at a dinner. She's at a dinner with the other family, her and Weston are over there. So I think Camila thinks she's part of the show now. It's a Tom and Camila show. I should have Camila come in here and break down the Warriors. She could do it just as well as I could after this game. She come down here and break down the Warriors, talk about Lammy, where Lammy is, what Lammy's been doing all day. So, no, she's funny. She was in here yesterday. She just sat here and watched and enjoyed the show. And then, of course, you saw her head. She's looking at herself in the camera. She enjoys seeing herself in the camera. She's a ham, is what she is. And so, anywho, okay, Warriors got spanked. Wolves still didn't feel like they dominated. Look, again, yeah, I mean, I felt the same thing. I felt the same thing in that there was a part of me that thought, they don't feel like they're really kind of grabbing this game by the nape of the neck and just like holding, like, I got this game. Like it felt a little wobbly there in the third. It did. The turnovers, the kind of uneasy. I don't think Finch was super happy. I don't think he was super happy with the defense in the latter half of the second quarter. So, but, again, if you're going to beat them, you're going to have to play consistent and consistently good. And then at points, great. And they just couldn't do that. Couldn't sustain it. They didn't make enough shots. And that's what happens when you don't have enough shot creators. So it happens. Ryan says he thought TJG and JK showed they can be valuable contributors. Good sign for the rest of the series. Yes and no. It was good to see him play. Especially, TJD, he really hasn't played at all. So, he had some turnovers and fumbled a couple balls. It's just like tough. You haven't played at all. It's one thing to stay ready and get into a regular season game. It's a completely different thing to like, okay, you haven't played at all. Make sure you're ready. And then I'm going to put you in a postseason game because the intensity is way different than a regular season game. And Jonathan Kuminga he had a really good game tonight. I'm not going to get too overly like, whoa, It's one game. Remember, one game doesn't lead to the next game. Games are completely different entities. So don't take what you see in one game and say, okay, this is absolutely going to happen in the next game. Somebody had a bad game, so they're going to have a bad game. They're going to have a good game, they're going to have a good game this game. So they're just different deals. But it is good for their confidence, and is good for Jonathan Kuminga's confidence, no doubt about it. So they need to get, like, it'd be nice if Moody could start shooting a little bit better. Again, 0 for 14, that'll get inside your head. That every time you shoot a shot, you feel the weight of the world. Like, please let me make one. Please. That's where you need to get to the free throw line if you can, or get a layup. Just see the ball go through the hoop. That's the last thing you need. 0 for 14 and shoot a fadeaway 3. That's a tough enough shot as it is. When you're 0 for 14, you just made it a lot tougher. So that would be my advice to him. Anything you can do to get an easy shot, back cut, get out in the open court, get yourself a layup, get yourself a free throw, just something that can help you out. And then, Pajemski's going to have to start hitting some shots as well. Because Jimmy, even though he hit a 3, he might have hit a couple of them actually. He's not really much of a threat from the outside. He doesn't really want to shoot from the outside, so he doesn't stretch the court. Draymond didn't shoot very well tonight, although he hit, I think, one of his first 2. He wasn't bad. He just wasn't scalding like he was the day before. It just shows you what Steph means. I mean, we all know what he means, but when you see it without him, you're like, okay, yeah. The offense looks totally different, a lot more congested, just not as open. What do I always say about Steph? He distorts the court. He stretches the court. He just makes it so much harder to cover for everybody. And then when he passes it, there's so much more room behind him because of how he does stretch it. Without him, it just contracts. It absolutely just contracts. And there's not as much room to move, not as much room to drive, not as much room to cut, and everything just gets harder. It's just harder. What beer am I drinking tonight? This is a Sante Adarius and Cellarmaker collaboration. It's called Danksy. It's a West Coast Pale Ale. 5.6. Got a little Cascade, a little Citra, a little Centennial. A little good is what it is. So I do like my pale ales. So, and those are 2 of my favorite breweries too. Sante Adarius and Cellarmaker. So I figured, hey, you got this and they're going to make a beer together. Count me in. It's like the whole chocolate peanut butter thing. 2 great tastes. It tastes great as one. I'm good. What do you do with Randall? I don't know. I mean, he was fine tonight. He was good tonight. I still think you put Draymond on him, it's a whole different story for the most part. But I'd have to go back and watch the film just to see how much of his action was with Draymond guarding him. He had 24 tonight, 10 of 17, 1 of 4 from 3. So, and 11 assists too, and he had 7 rebounds. So no, he was really good tonight. He's a good player. He is. I just think for the most part, Draymond's going to have the upper hand in that matchup. That's how much I believe in Draymond being able to guard him, and I've seen it over and over and over and over and over again. So they want to keep going at him. Fine. Anthony Edwards is the one I'm worried is going to explode one of these games and go for like a 40 ball. Because he's still missed a lot of shots at the rim. He hasn't quite got going. He just doesn't feel like, he's quite into it yet. But once he gets locked in, then then it's trouble. Then, because that dude just is almost impossible to guard one-on-one. So the longer they can keep him down, the better, because he's a monster. And again, I think he's due for, let me look at his game log here real quick. Edwards game log. He's at 23 and 20 and 14 rebounds and 9 rebounds. So, it's not like he's been terrible. 15 for 35. Hasn't shot the ball great, but not bad. 3-pointers, not great. 3 for 9. But, he had a stretch in the end of the season. He had 43 against Utah. 22 against the Lakers, then 25, 29, 43. Like that's the kind of stretch I'm worried about, where he just gets rolling, and he has a monster game because he's capable of winning a game by himself. And you want to at least be up a game when he has that game. You don't want to be down a game, and then all of a sudden you get the 40 ball game coming, and now you're down 2 games. And so, Kuminga's play Warriors need his potential for offense. I don't know. I mean, I would think after the way he played tonight, he's going to get a shot next game. And if Kuminga plays the way he did tonight, then I would think he'll probably continue to get somewhat of a shot. I mean, look, it's no secret. I've been saying this forever. It's pretty simple with Kuminga. Get to the hole, be decisive. Don't try to do too much. Don't try to square your guy up, hold the ball for 2 seconds, then go one-on-one. I mean, we've seen that turn into disaster over and over and over and over again. He made a couple bad decisions. One from the left wing where he took it in, turned it over, and then he had a wide open corner 3 and he passed it up. And he ended up taking it above the break 3, which he missed. Like wide open 3 corner, let it go. Let it go. So for him, it's just about running and attacking. Okay, if you got the attack right away, take it. If you don't stand there and dribble and then go. Because the whole defense is looking at you now. And it's going to collapse when you start driving. And you just make it way harder on yourself. So if he can continue to do those things, yeah, he's probably going to get some time. But if he doesn't, he won't. So it's always, as always, contingent on Jonathan Kuminga and how he's going to play. How short is Podziemski's or Moody's leash? Look, I think Podziemski's playing. They need him, and he's been really good for him. So I don't see a situation where Podziemski's minutes get cut. He didn't play great tonight. Yet, how many minutes did he have? Probably had mid-20s, right? 33. Him and Butler led him in minutes. So he's going to play. Podziemski's going to play. And, he would take it for what it's worth. Again, to me, it's just another stat, but it is somewhat telling. He was a +1 tonight in the minutes he played. So plays the game the right way, gets rid of the ball quickly. He just didn't shoot the ball well tonight. Moody, on the other hand, played 16 minutes. It was a -13 in the minutes that he played. So he's just scuffling right now. I mean, confidence, man. You lose your confidence in the playoffs, that game goes by so quick. And I'm not talking about from start to finish. I'm talking about every possession. It's a blur. It's just a blur. Decisions that are easy to make during the regular season become so much harder to make because everything's just moving so fast. And you just want to get the ball out of your hands and go set a screen for somebody and do something really easy. You don't want to complicate things. And I think right now that's kind of where Moody is, where the game's moving really, really fast for him. And he's got to find a way to slow it down. So I always try to do something positive for the team without scoring or shooting. Get an offensive rebound. Take a charge. Get to the free throw line. Block a shot. Get a steal. Set a good screen. There are so many ways you can help a team without it even showing up in the box score. And that way I could feel good about myself. I feel like, all right, I've contributed. I haven't scored, but I've contributed. And that made me feel good. Okay. And then that started slowing the game down for me a little bit because I didn't feel like I had to make a shot because that wasn't my only contribution. I already contributed. I dove on the floor and got that ball. I made a nice assist. I set a good screen for Mully or somebody like that. I contributed. I got him open. I got somebody else open on an assist. So that's, I think for Moody, it's like finding something to do where you feel like I'm contributing, and then the shots don't become such a huge, huge deal. I know the Warriors got their kickers step. Happy, brilliant. Thanks. I am feeling a little bit better. And yeah, again, look at the big picture. They're 1-1. They went 1-1 in Minnesota. Pretty solid. You'll take a 1-1 in Minnesota. I know it's dour just because Steph's out, and we get it. We all get it. you can't languish, you can't mope, you just move on and you try to do your job. It just sucks because we're all basketball fans. And I was bummed that Anthony Edwards went out. I was like, you got to be kidding me. This game's going to be missing the two best players in the game in the series. It just doesn't make it's not as much fun to watch. That's why we like these games. Best time of year. Best athletes, best time of year. And then if they're not on the court, it's just not as much fun to watch. It isn't. Like if you're watching the Nuggets without Jokic or without Murray or no Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, the Cavs are already decimated, right? But if no Jalen Brunson was playing for the Knicks, and that's what we're talking about here. With Steph being out, we're talking about no Jokic, no Shea, no Brunson, no Tatum or Brown. Take a pick. No Mitchell. So it's not as fun. That's not as fun to watch. You want to watch the best versus the best with the most on the line. And that's what this is. But you're not getting the best versus the best right now. And that's just what it is. And then you can do about it. It just sucks. So I just hope he gets back so we can watch him play again this year. And I hope by the time he gets back, the Warriors still have a shot at this thing. Or maybe even, who knows, maybe even put themselves in a good position. Maybe they could be up a game. So we'll see how it's all going to play out. Why does Dre always over exaggerate when he gets fouled? Oh my gosh. I don't know. He really sells the shit out of it though, doesn't he? I know you're talking about the elbow. I think it was to the side of was it Naz Reid's head? I think it was Naz Reid. Or Naz Reid actually fouled him, and then Draymond goes up and just throws his arms into him. Like, I get it. You're exaggerating the call so you can get the call. I used to do it too. We used to do it during my era all the time, but we didn't get technicals for it. Right? There were no flagrants back then, so you could do that. And if you hit somebody in the head, then well, you wouldn't get a technical. Just expect to get whacked next time you went back down court. Like if I hit someone in the face, guess what? Next time I cut through the lane, you're probably going to get a forearm right to the sternum. Like there's going to be some reciprocation. Now it's a technical. So it just, I mean, Nurkic, remember down in Phoenix where he over-exaggerated and flopped and just smacked the shit out of him right to the side of the face? Like that was like, I get selling the call, but there's a thing called overselling too, and that's all that they just oversold it. He already was going to get the foul. I'm not really even sure what the point was, but you're not sure in the moment. Like you can't go to sell it and then hear the whistle and stop yourself. You're already committed to the bit. And when you're committed to the bit, you're just going to keep following through. And Naz Reid's ear felt the ramifications, felt the impact of that elbow to the side of his head. But yeah, it was funny. He like jumped up and they flailed the arms and just whap. And Naz Reid was like, "You son of a, can't believe you did that." Well, you should believe you did that. He's done it before. He's done it multiple times before. Hey, look, at least he stopped the kicking, okay? Remember when he kicked Steven Adams in the Jewels? I mean, when he got raked and then he jumped up and then he kicked both feet out to try to sell the call. At least he doesn't do that anymore. At least he's not, just going full on karate kick to some dude's nudicles. I mean, Steven Adams was not thrilled with that. And Steven Adams actually went soprano for about 4 minutes afterwards. But he's taking care of that part. You got the kicking under control. Now I just need to get the flailing with the arms under control because two more tacks, you're out. You got to sit a game. Well, that's not what you want, especially if you get it like at the end of the series, game 6, game 7. That's not good. That's not good. And so, anyway, all right, I'm gonna get on out of here. Schedule Saturday after. I'll come home and I'll do a post game. Monday, hopefully, we're going to do a post game Monday. We're going to look into it. Let's see what I have available. See what the housing situation is, the room situation here. See if I'm all booked up in my own house. I'm gonna come home. There's gonna be a no vacancy sign outside of my own house. What are you gonna do? Right? Family's family. Wednesday, no, because we're traveling. And then Friday, Marcus Thompson out in the backyard. And we'll try to figure out if we're going to do, I'm not sure if we'll do a show Tuesday because we'll be traveling. Maybe Wednesday. Maybe I could do something Wednesday afternoon. But then I'm doing something Wednesday night. No, I'm not doing anything Wednesday night. So let's plan on that. I'll take the computer with me and we'll try to do something Wednesday. And look, once the Warrior season's over with, this will be more, we'll get it more kind of tightened up. But now it's just with the schedules and everything, we're not sure exactly where we're going to be, when we're going to be, when I'm going to be traveling, all that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to get this thing going. But just as long as we get Friday with Marcus, that'll be good. That'll be a good week. If that's the only damn thing I did, that'd be a fun week. Friday in the backyard. So when this Friday is well known. Yeah, Juicy Lucy, baby. You missed the Jim Peterson show yesterday. Jim gave you a rundown on all the good Minnesota food. Juicy Lucy was the one, and the tater tot festival or whatever the hell that thing's called. It's some sort of tater tot dish. I'm not a huge tater tot guy, which is funny because I'm in the massive minority on this. Like everybody loves tater tots, and I just don't. I don't love tater tots. I don't love hash browns, and that's one thing that I'm in the distinct minority. Because if you don't love tater tots, you probably at least love hash browns, but I don't really love either. I never order hash browns. I always get fruit or like an English muffin or something like that for my side for breakfast. And then tater tots, I don't know. Maybe I got sick. Maybe I got sick when I was younger on tater tots. I don't know about it. But I'm not into the tater tot bonanza or tater tot festival or fucking whatever tater tot food that was back in Minnesota. And they do eat some heavy food back there. They do get that comfort food thing down. But I guess when it's, 8 degrees every time you go outside in the winter, you got to have some stuff that you want to stick to your ribs a little bit and warm you up. Man, I'd be making chili all the time if I lived in Minnesota. That would be a staple. Some walleye chili. You'd be good to go. Go out there and do some ice fishing. Oh, absolutely. All right, very good. Everybody have a great evening. What is tonight? Anyway, it's Thursday. I'm starting to forget what the days are because I haven't done anything this week. I try to get a walk in tomorrow. Got some hoops tomorrow to watch, and then we'll be back with you Saturday after the game. Everybody have a great Thursday. Everybody, talk to you Saturday. See ya.